Jay, that's strangely close to Daniel Jones from the Giants. Daniel, is that you? Beat the Chiefs. Show me. If the Broncos and Russell Wilson can show me that they can beat the Chiefs, then I will start believing.
The crowd up. And so are this defense, and Kansas City won't snap the ball again. The Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
David Montgomery on the Lions, former Bear, gonna make this his revenge game for sure. David Montgomery gets the touchdown that ices the game. No! And there's a flag. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. Snap. Hold. Kick.
Denver wins! Denver wins! Let's go!
They open. No!
What happened? Oh, shit.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the only football podcast tonight, or today, if you could see my window here. We're going to go over what's going on with Rashee Rice. It's going to be a quick episode. We're also going to get into the Bears-Packers rivalry, as well as the Broncos and Chiefs with Kyle. Let's get it. America is football. Football is America.
Football is America. If you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass.
For the moment in time, I don't give a damn.
Oh my God!
You love this.
30 to 27.
No!
Chiefs win. Chiefs
No!
win 30 to 20. Woo!
Here's the sign right there behind me.
Mama tried.
Mama tried. In fact, she did try. And the last thing she tried was to get me to not tattoo. Mama tried. Right there.
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, how are you doing? It feels like it's been a while.
Dude, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I know it's been a while. As you guys can see, my background is completely blank. I am in the process of finally getting everything out of the house. Going to be moving into a new house. It's going to be great. So that's why it's been a while with Kyle and I.
Yeah, but man, so that's really happening. Moving is stressful, man.
It is. It is, dude. Like getting pictures taken, getting all that like stored in the garage, making arrangements to move. Oh God, it is such a pain in the ass. But you know what? I do it for you guys.
You are such a liar. You are totally doing it for you.
100% doing it for myself. Yes.
Well, all right. We're not going to have time to do a full 2 hour. I was just telling Rick, my buddy, I'm in Miami for a couple days, and my buddy does stand-up comedy. So I'm trying to support him tonight and just be a good friend. It is the off season, however, so
Yep.
we got a little bit of time. But I will say real quick, I'm going to plug myself. So I put out on Reddit a bunch of hey, I would like to interview you. And the last interview I did on the Only Football podcast was with a Ravens fan from Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Yeah.
So I put out a thread on all 32 teams, right? And I created a Reddit account, so I'm not like plugged in on Reddit. The Australian guy was the one that said, just post it on all the different subreddits. So I did.
Yeah.
Nobody got back to me.
Not yet.
33 Bronco fans got back to me.
No way.
And I have literally a month worth of interviews coming from when I get back on Saturday to the end of the month. And I think I've just created a Broncos hub for a lot of people. So, dude, I know we have some Bronco fans on here, but I'm super pumped about that. And any other teams that I get, of course, I'll have to pick my favorite Bronco story to do on the Only Football podcast. I think I'm going to go with the guy that said he went to school with Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be the one. But good things coming ahead. But sticking in the AFC West, dude, Rashee Rice.
Yep.
What's going on with your boy?
Dude, I don't know. This guy, for some reason, we mentioned we were going to talk about him because a few months back he got into an accident. He fled. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he fled the scene of the accident, and a lot of people were just saying, "Hey, that's a dick move." He's the number one wide receiver in Kansas City. At least he was last season when they won the Super Bowl. He was the only consistent one. He was the only one that was able to get anything going for the Kansas City Chiefs in the wide receiving core. So he goes and he has this accident. He's fleeing. He's got some friends, family, whatever the case may be with him. Now, as of Monday morning, he has got an assault charge from a photographer at a nightclub. Apparently, there was a scuffle. He didn't like the photographer taking pictures of him, I guess, at the nightclub.
Oh, get over yourself.
So he assaulted him.
You're not famous enough to get mad about
that. Left him with some sort of injury to the jaw. I'm going to pull up the story here.
Oh, God. Dude, I've had my jaw broken. Don't think as you're reading this, don't think injury to the jaw is a small thing. Yeah. I've had my leg exploded and I've had my jaw broken, and I pick my leg every fucking time. Okay. If you've never had your jaw broken, it is an event that will make you never get in confrontation ever again for the rest of your life. I was a big shit talker my whole life. I grew up with an angry dad, and I had a lot of anger as a young 20-year-old.
Been there.
And I got my jaw broken, and it was like a very, not just sobering for the moment, but sobering for life kind of moment. It is a big deal to get your jaw broken. So are you saying Rashee Rice broke someone's jaw, or somebody with Rashee Rice broke someone's jaw? Because I don't know if Rashee Rice has what it takes to break a jaw.
You would be surprised, man. Some of these athletes, the absolute just the pure strength, the pure unadulterated strength they have is ridiculous. But there hasn't been too many details out there. But we know that it's Rashee Rice at a nightclub involved with a photographer and that he assaulted him. He turned himself into police, so they are currently investigating that situation. But just with what went on with the car crash and now this, he was a rookie last year coming out of SMU. Right. And again, everything I said, he's become the number one wide receiver in Kansas City. And then during the offseason, this is what you do? Like, this is what's going on? Like, no wonder they had to draft Xavier Worthy in the draft, speaking of Kansas City. So I don't know. I don't know what your opinion is on this. I don't love the fact that this is happening. Obviously, there's things that happen at nightclubs. We talk about Vegas being a hub for a lot of stuff going on. And Henry Ruggs was one of those, examples that unfortunately what happened to him happened. He's in jail for life at this point, or 25 to life, whatever it may be. But
is that what the charge is for a jaw broken?
No, I just think with these young kids having money like this and going out and thinking they're this or that, like it's getting to be a little ridiculous, especially when you have two incidents in like a 3-month span.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be the voice of reason here because
I
have a lot of opinions on this. Mm-hmm. The first opinion that comes to mind is, of course, going to be a negative. Rashee Rice, you have not earned the right to fuck up this many times. There are receivers out there like Steve Smith, Torrey Holt. I think actually Torrey Holt won a ring. Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco that never had an opportunity to win an NFL ring, and you were a rookie, blessed by the grace of God to play with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and this is how you return the favor. Now everybody's allowed one, right? But you can't have two fuck ups in the same off season. That's not okay. So you're not cool enough yet to be able to do this. There will come a time where you can maybe, if you get as good as Terrell Owens, you can fuck up a bunch of times and we'll look away. But if you actually look at the best receivers in the league, Devontae Adams, when's the last time he's been in trouble? Can't even think of one time. You look at, I I just can't think of any receivers that are like up there, like Justin Jefferson. When has he been in trouble? Jamar Chase, when has he been in trouble? Like, why do you think that your shit doesn't stink? Like,
Yeah.
you got put in a really good situation. Like, get your shit together. Now,
Mhm.
the other thing that I'm thinking is that sometimes just when you go out with a group of people, you get, and you know this from the military. And speaking of the military, the USS Miami is in port right now. So there's
Oh,
just
wow.
a bunch of Marines and officers and
Oh,
sailors
no.
going down the thing.
Oh, no.
And I'm at my brother's bar. So I was,
It's terrible.
anyway, it's a whole nother thing, but it's
Oh,
funny.
God.
I just told, they're all like, oh, how do you know, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
just retired. And they're like, how long were you in? And I was like, 6 years. And they're like, I was
You're
like,
like,
yeah, I was going to do 20, but then I realized I could just be blown up instead. You know? I'm just kidding.
oh, dark military humor. I love it.
Oh, just totally kidding, but not about all these guys being here. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I look at Rasheed Rice and I'm like, bro, you haven't earned the right to do this. But now in the military they say guilty by association, and they
Hmm.
also say perception is reality, which I spent most of my military career arguing that it's not.
No, it's not.
Perception is reality is a lazy way to say that you don't care enough to dig up the details.
Yep.
So I am going to say this. It's possible Rasheed Rice was with a group of people who were protecting him, and at a moment of confrontation, his homeboy stood in the gap and broke someone's jaw, and Rasheed Rice was guilty by association.
Oh.
And if that happens, the news isn't going to say, oh, this random guy that was, they're going to say a group led by Rasheed Rice
Hmm.
got in a conflict. So we don't know the details, right? We
Yeah.
don't
It's
know
alleged, too. It isn't alleged. So,
exactly.
yeah.
So, like, of course, if you're the person that has the broken jaw, you are not going to try to sue the guy Rasheed Rice was with. You're going to
Hmm.
try to sue Rasheed Rice.
Hmm.
So, with all of that said, I think that's a very kind of middle ground to go with is like, yeah, you need to get your shit together. Like, obviously, you're not making good choices right now, but I will also withstand from having a extreme opinion until I know that you were the one swinging out there.
Yeah, and that's totally a totally fair take on that, because, like you said, guilty by association, it sucks because you surround yourself around certain people, and it does become sort of, oh, people are expecting you to kind of get into trouble. I mean, we look at a guy like John Morant in the NBA who's been told like 4 times by Adam Silver, hey man, maybe can you stop waving a gun on IG Live? Maybe it's like the people he's hanging out with, and maybe Rasheed Rice right
Look at these
now.
Marines crossing the street. You see him?
Yeah, I do. So maybe it's Rasheed Rice in a situation currently where maybe he has to evaluate the crowd he's rolling with, right? So maybe it is a situation like that. Moving on, but staying in the AFC West, Kyle, he is on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Broncos just drafted Bo Nix. You still got Courtland Sutton. You've still got Patrick Surtain II. What is all this? We talked about it at the beginning during the intro. What is this going to look like going into this next season? The Chiefs are, again, Super Bowl champions. Denver Broncos kind of in a rebuild phase. What are you expecting as far as like a divisional games between the two? What are you expecting?
The first thing I'll say I'm expecting is the AFC West to be more competitive than it has been in recent memory.
Wow.
Um, I understand that Justin Herbert's always been with the Chargers, but you just cannot undermine what bringing in Harbaugh means to this team. He said, he's going to be physical, nasty, run the football. What does he do? He drafts Joe Wall, right, to beef up that
Yep.
offensive line, and then made a lot of impressive moves, including Brendan Rice, I believe his name is, Jerry Rice's son,
Yes.
drafted
Yep.
in the 7th round.
Mm-hmm.
Expect that guy to see the field plenty for a 7th round pick. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Chargers are going to be a good team. I won't say great. I won't even say mediocre. Whatever's in between is what I think the Chargers will be. I think they'll win 9 games at least next year. And then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and everything going on with Rashee Rice, but I don't think it ultimately matters. Like, the Chiefs have proven that they can overcome any deficiencies within their team or locker room with Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes. But you need those 3 to be there. And they're going to be there with Travis Kelce just securing a long-term contract to probably take him to the rest of the end of his career, if I had to guess. And then you got the Broncos, who drafted
Yeah.
Bo Nix at
Bo.
number 12 overall, the 6th quarterback taken. And the more I have looked into this draft pick, I have to say, I
He
think the
loves him.
Bo Nix thing is going to work.
He loves him. I knew it. I knew it.
I think it's going to work. There's been so many times where I've had blind faith that now that I have faith that's built on substance, no one cares. But the fact of the matter is, I see that Sean Payton excels in an offense that relies on the quarterback getting the ball out quick and making
Yep.
quick decisions, checking on his own protections, doing all the pre-snap stuff. It's about IQ. Sean doesn't want to win the game because you can out-athlete the other team. He wants to outwin. He wants to win you because he outsmarted you. And that's what Bo Nix is going to come in and do. He's going to get rid of the ball really quick. Now you look at our weapons: Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Marvin Mims Jr., Josh Reynolds. That's 4 very capable wide receivers. You could argue who's number 1. We don't even know, because Tim Patrick, last time we saw him healthy, was the number 1 receiver. It would seem like Cortland Sutton is that. But ideally, you have 2 number 1s on the outside, Marvin Mims in the slot, Josh Reynolds on the other slot. And then we didn't even bring up the fact that they drafted Bo Nix's best target in Franklin. Franklin fell all the way to the 4th round, and the Broncos traded all the way up and snagged him. I think he's going to see the field, and he's a little bit of injury insurance with, like I said, Tim Patrick injured 2 of the last seasons. So I look at this team and I think, like, yes, Russell Wilson, more decorated. He's accomplished more things. But for what Denver needs right now and what Sean Payton prefers, he said it during the owner meeting that happened 2 months ago. They asked him straight up, was the decision to cut Russell Wilson with all that money of that dead cap money, was that a tough decision? And he straight up said no, like a cold-blooded mofo. Just said, no, that was easy for me. So you're seeing that Sean Payton felt similar about Patrick Mahomes as he felt about Bo Nix. And now that we've been able to backdate it and know that's just not draft day banter that people say when they draft someone, no, he was always our guy. It's like, yeah, so Caleb Williams was available. Was he your guy, really? But Sean Payton, I don't know about Caleb Williams, because even when he's explained it, he said Caleb Williams was never available to us. But every other quarterback on the board, Bo Nix was his guy.
Yeah.
That was the case. So I do think Sean Payton is going to groom Bo Nix to be the exact quarterback that he wants, and I think it's going to work. And I think Denver has their franchise quarterback. I really do. And if you have your franchise quarterback, you always have a shot at a divisional title. Is it going to work? No, we're in a rebuild. Like, this team is far from perfect. But are we talking about another 7 to 9 win season? Probably. And I don't think next season, when we're in the offseason, it's going to be the quarterback that we're addressing for the first time in a while.
Yeah. I like that. And look, people can say, like, okay, Bo Nix, he has his flaws or whatever. He's old. I say that in quotes because people call these guys, as well as Michael Penix, old, and they're like 24 years old. Fuck you. You're old for saying that shit. You know what I mean? They're not old. They're young.
They're not
fuck.
old.
Yeah.
I was playing basketball on the court today. I still got it.
Kyle's old. And Bill's saying Kyle on location. Kyle is on location in Miami.
I almost had a heat stroke.
Kyle is walking and sweating and breathing in water in Miami. He's ready to score another 72 on the Broncos right now. So Bill, yes, he is on location. And look, oh, I just got a tweet. Yep, they just scored another touchdown.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You
So
son of a bitch.
I agree, man. I think Sean Payton with Bo Nix here, with Franklin, especially with Cortland Sutton, like it can absolutely be a competitive Broncos team, as well as the other couple teams there, right? You're going to have Aiden O'Connell. You're going to have Gardner Minshew battling out for the quarterback spot. It should go to Gardner. Obviously, you have Kansas City there, Super Bowl champs. Their wide receiver situation still kind of up in the air, but with Patrick Mahomes, I mean, similar to Tom Brady, you just got to get him some guys who can get open and get some routes going. So,
Definitely.
but and then the LA Chargers, they've got an entire new look, an entire new identity. Let's see how they go into it as well. But the Broncos can definitely do something. All that matters, I think, really is what direction Peyton and Patton want to go. Are they both Peyton? Pronounced Peyton?
Yeah, they're both Peyton.
Okay, so it depends on which route both Peytons want to go. Whether they want to, unfortunately, possibly trade a Cortland Sutton, possibly trade a Surtain to get more picks to maybe speed up the rebuild, in 2 years instead of 4 with him there. You know what I mean? So it really does depend on which direction they want to go. But hey, just like me, like I was saying about Bo Nix, why the fuck not? Why not? Why not make it work with Bo Nix, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I mean, and one thing you got to keep in mind about Bo Nix, by the way, quick sidebar, this is the building that I grew up in with the red stripes.
Oh, wow.
So I lived on the 19th floor, 1901.
Nice.
And, there's just something that happens when you're home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the nostalgia.
Yeah. Man, even though there's just too many nights I forgot, I still feel like I remember everything. Anyway.
I love it.
Yeah, dude, why not? Why not Bo Nix? I think it's going to work, and I'm excited. But the last thing I wanted to say about it was a lot of quarterbacks, and I know you drafted Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams,
Yep.
Jaden Daniels, maybe not Drake May. I don't really like this take as I'm saying it.
But he's going to say
it. I just feel like when you actually dissect Bo Nix's career and what happened at Auburn, and a lot of people don't even know, who's our other quarterback on the roster?
Zach Wilson?
Not Zach Wilson. DiNucci got released.
He just got released, yeah.
The other one.
Oh, Stidham.
Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that Jarrett Stidham was the reason that Bo Nix didn't start at Auburn.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
I did not know that.
And the more you dissect Bo Nix's career, you see that he went through the type of adversity that is not common to see in a first-round draft pick. Mm-hmm. A lot of first-round talents, even if you're, let's say, Drake May, you've always been the guy. You've always been, you're the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. Yeah, he got jumped to 3. But Bo Nix is kind of this dude that's been slept on team after draft. You're the last quarterback picked out of 6. So he just kind of has this thing about him that you feel like he's comfortable in this situation because he's kind of been this guy throughout his college career.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of quarterbacks like Caleb Williams, or not like Caleb Williams. Let me just say a different quarterback because he's your quarterback.
Don't fucking talk about Williams.
Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, these number 1 guys, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's actually a better example because Caleb Williams did go through his fair share of troubles and trials on USC. So let's talk about those other guys who only lost 1 game in 2 seasons.
Yeah. Or an entire careers.
Or their entire career. How comfortable are they in the face of adversity? Now, whether they can overcome is not even what I'm talking about. I'm saying how many times have they faced adversity? Is the first time they're facing adversity in the NFL? For a lot of those type of picks, yes. Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of a gamble. You might say, well, I think they got everything that, you need to overcome those things. That's a whole separate conversation. With Bo Nix,
Mhm.
you're already saying this is a guy that has overcome a ton of adversity year after year after year, and he's flourished in multiple QB systems.
100%.
So I look at that and I think, yeah, I like our pick. I like the fact that Sean got his guy more above everything. If Michael Penix was Sean's guy, I would be stoked.
Mhm.
As long as he had the same reasoning he had for drafting Bo Nix.
Mhm.
But you could tell when he explained the Bo Nix draft pick that this was not a last QB available pick. This
Yeah.
was his guy. And then we're going to talk about your guy,
We
and we're
would
going to
we
talk
would have
about.
we would have if we weren't on a time constraint.
Oh, we ran
We
out of
will,
time.
yes, but we will get to Bears, Packers, and Caleb Williams and all that stuff. And just before we get out of here, because it is going to be a short episode, guys, so apologies. But like you said, I'm sure Kyle, you feel the same way, and I think all Denver Broncos fans feel the same way. They just want this to be the guy. They want Bo Nix to be the guy. They want this rebuild to happen and end with Bo Nix and a Tim Patrick and a Cortland Sutton and your Surtain with Sean with the Paytons there at the helm. So hopefully it does happen. And Kyle, what are your little chives here as we wrap it up here?
My chives today, since Bill missed the beginning of the episode, I'm going to show you my brother's bar. This bar we grew up in, it used to be called Pub One, but the owner died in a motorcycle accident. His wife
Oh,
took the bar over. And this is like this is like a shot and cigarette bar, right? You still smoke cigs inside. And she said, no more smoking. And she started putting up artwork. And everybody felt like, no, what are you doing? You're ruining the place. This was
yeah,
our
yeah,
dive bar.
yeah.
So anyway, we called it and it did go under and she did sell it and my brother did buy it. And he did keep the same pool table inside that we used to play with. I'm about to show you a piece of history.
Nice.
History. So here we go. This is the bar. You guys, anytime you're in Miami, feel free to come down to Northeast First Street, right here, right across from the Miami Heat Arena at Mama Tried. And dude, I think you guys would absolutely love it. So here you go.
What a scene in Miami. What a scene. There's the pool table. Look at that.
That's the old pool table right here. This has been here since Pub One.
Look at that. Awesome. Kyle, thanks so much for showing us a piece of your history. And when we are both in Miami, we are both going to be in Mama Tried talking football. Can't wait,
We're
brother.
gonna do a live podcast from it.
Hell yeah. And Bill, yeah, we're getting the move done. We're almost there. We're in the beginning of it, kind of getting everything out, but thank you so much. And Kyle, always a good time, brother.
Always a good time. From Miami.
See ya!